Unconquered and mysterious, the Arctic has been feared and respected by man since the beginning of time. Truly an endless and relentless world, the Arctic demands new thinking, new courage for man to eke out more than a mere existence. It's the land where a man's momentary forgetfulness means death, silence. There's no second guessing. The Arctic ruthlessly plays for keeps. The Arctic is but an area on the map to you. There are no roads, so you've never given it a second glance. Then one day, there is a rumor Alaska freight lines are going to head into the Arctic with freight. Yes, and build their own road, hundreds and hundreds of miles through country few men had ever seen, much less traveled over. The rumor soon becomes a fact, and as the first truck train heads out of Fairbanks, a lot of questions are flashing through minds. And there are some ifs, mighty big ifs in the overall picture. But your job is to drive the Kenworth and the 25-ton load to the Arctic, to roll the wheels on Arctic Ocean ice. And you soon learn that this job is enough to keep you more than busy. From the instant your wheels roll northward out of the city limits, you are pioneering. For instance, it is the first time the Steese Highway to the banks of the frozen Yukon River has ever been open for traffic in the wintertime. A tremendous task in itself, but dwarfed in your eyes, which are looking further north, always north. As you roll on to the Arctic, you grope for answers. Answers to questions no one but you will be able to furnish. Could this unknown vastness be conquered by man's ways and means? Could a steady, dependable, and sizable flow of essential supplies be delivered to the very heart of the Arctic, no matter the weather, the terrain, the countless other unknown obstacles? There is only one way to find the answers to any and all such questions: by doing the job. You are writing your own textbook with the indelible print of experience. Less than 100 miles out of Fairbanks, you begin your battles with old Mother Nature. Streams that normally trickle through culverts now back up in a frozen hodgepodge, creating powerful glaciers of unpredictable strength and cavernous pits. It's as though the Arctic is giving you a taste of what lies ahead, for 500-odd miles ahead. Ofttimes, the stream and glacier go on a rampage, and the road is gutted and dangerous. Sometimes impassable until the cold regains its grip and stills even the glacier as it gels a passable road. You remember sitting in your cab and watching the truck ahead make its tortuous way across a glacier. You aren't even to the Yukon, the Arctic Circle, and already you're battling for every foot northward. Is it really impossible, as some had expressed, to build and maintain a road in the Arctic winter, to roll wheels on schedule on the Arctic Ocean ice? In a short time, you are wrestling with your own wheel. Hands, arms, shoulders ache as the truck inches on. ache with determination, and supply the answers to many questions. The wheels are heading north to the Arctic. As you crawl northward, mile after mile, the challenges and the efforts bring all of you closer together. Your eyes, your hearts, your thoughts, your lives are all wrapped up in the job at hand. Each gains strength from the other, and gradually, you're knitting a team of men and equipment that will not be stopped. The incentive of a challenge quite often creates an irresistible drive within men, a will to do despite barriers. Such incentives drive you that extra little bit, and then more, and then still more, until the immediate shore or obstacle is licked. You soon learn as you advance into the Arctic that every move is an effort. A miscalculation, a misstep, and it means immediate trouble, perhaps danger to self and the entire project. You work, live, and progress as a team. And while you do not recognize it at the time, it is this bond, this unity that carries you northward to your primary objective, destination. While the truck train is plowing its way over the highway toward the Yukon, your cat train is several hundred miles north, carving a road across the Arctic. It sounds so simple, doesn't it? And when you write it, it reads simple too. But the doing of it, brother, it is a job. You gouge and push through endless miles of ice and snow, back and forth, clearing drifts until the blade rasps on the crust of the frozen tundra, and you think you have it licked, and the going will be easier, for this stretch at least. And you lower your blade and move a yard, perhaps two, and it feels that the very bowels of the earth are coming up with your blade as it smacks and gnashes into a ponderous niggerhead. You can't just roll over it, for it would block any truck. Yet, if you plow it up by its roots, you'll leave a big hole that must be filled and tamped down to form a solid base for the trucks to roll over. As you work on it, cutting, pushing, charging, you run smack into another niggerhead, and another, and another. With a cat, you twist and turn, you bounce and bump. As with the other cat skinners, you build the road. Every day you operate that cat 12 hours, and your partner the other 12. You get to be an automaton. You eat and sleep the road until even a 70-degree below zero day fails to bring a remark. Yours is the big challenge of the job, building the road. As you sink into 20, 30, 40 feet of snow, you recall laughing at the incredible suggestion of building a road to the Arctic Ocean. You remember saying, "Do you think I'm crazy?" Many times you affirmatively answer your own question, especially as you head off into the Arctic night, or during those scattered days when you build through a belt of scrub trees. Why, you actually tackle that job as a sport. Like a bear in the huckleberry patch, you smash and romp through a dense patch of timber, always heading north, north to the Arctic. Some days you make only a disheartening few miles. On others, as much as 25, and you feel real good on those days, real good, for the job goes well. There are no roadhouses or motels in the Arctic, so you bring your own lodging. your own cook shack, and even a tool house, where there are no garages or machine shops either. Like a huge orange caterpillar, the Wanigan sled train crawls northward, always near to the road-building covey of cats. The first time you see the snow train at Circle City, where it's being assembled, you rub your eyes. You look closer, and there's a man with a torch heating a rim to a 7-foot 4-inch tire. A 40 below zero blast has contracted the rim, and air is escaping from the tubeless tire. Everything and everyone is dwarfed by the mechanized giant. You feast on statistics, astronomical statistics. Overall length of 250 feet. With the train consisting of a powerhouse and 5 trailers. You put down a question mark when informed every one of the 24 wheels has its very own electric motor, supplied with power totaling 1,800 horsepower in all from the diesels in the head section. 14 feet high, 16 feet wide, figures and more figures that seem exaggerated until you stand near the beast. And then comes the day when it heads north. The steady, high-pitched whir of the electric drives and the shrill din of the diesels pierce the Arctic stillness. You'd expected a more thunderous, ponderous sound of action. But as the snow train rolls northward, first to a loading area on the other bank of the Yukon River, you realize you are seeing Arctic transportation history in the making. There is something about the serpent-like train that gives you the hunch it will do the job. Here is power. Unbelievable mobile power with a cargo capacity of more than a fleet of trucks. Here, indeed, is the big brother of the Alaska freight team heading north to the Arctic. Like a carrier pigeon, the Cessna 180 speeds needed replacements, spare parts, mail, and food supplies to the 3 trains pushing northward. You listen for the drone of the plane, and you realize that along with the 2-way radio, it is your link with the rest of the world, with home. Otherwise, you are in a world of your own, a cruel, endless, relentless world, yet strangely appealing with its mystery and promise. Winging northward, you spot the Yukon, the little and big Black Rivers, the Porcupine, the Colleen. You have never heard of many of these places before. Now, as you roll northward, they are important landmarks, goals, and signposts of your progress. You're in country now, real big country, and you are pushing just a little longer each day to catch up to the cat train the sooner. And then, too, the snow train is bringing up the rear. You can't allow a newfangled contraption like that to beat out your tried and true Kenworth. But you soon forget any race or game in the 50, 60, even 70 degree below zero weather. It is all you could do to keep your truck moving. Slowly, agonizingly slowly, you roll northward. Your hands, arms, and shoulders no longer ache. They are past that stage. And if they do, you are too numb or busy to notice. The sword of time hangs overhead, and unconsciously you push the harder. You curse the cat skinners for the rough road. In fact, you begin to curse them for everything. Yet, deep in your heart, you are amazed that they've been able to carve out such a passable highway. You are tired. You are deaf from the incessant din of the diesels, which are never turned off because of the extreme cold. You are fed up with the Arctic. You want a good hot bath, a big warm bed, Yet, you want the more to roll your wheels on the Arctic. It is 58 degrees below zero the morning your wheels churn into the loose gravel of a bar across the Colleen River. It is too darn cold to do anything. You joke about it as you help unload the cat from the flatbed so it can tow the trucks across the short stretch. You are at Mallard Springs, the first designated Arctic depot where some of the train will unload their cargo, return to Circle City for more, and then back to Mallard Springs. It is heartening to be getting somewhere definite, for in the Arctic you can go on and on and on and seemingly reach nowhere. Mallard Springs, Old Crow Flats, adventurous, important spots of the Arctic, where scrub forests are silver sentinels, mute testimonials to the thoroughness of the Arctic's fury and strength. Respectfully, cautiously you approach Blow River Pass, marveling at the artful designs of wind-carved ice and snow. Blow River Pass, you have eaten, talked, and dreamed of it, and under an April sun, it is not disappointing. Here is the key to the success of the road, for the pass is only 2,800 feet, while others to the Arctic reach 10 and 11,000. Here is the reason there were no steep grades in the road so that wheels could roll. You feel and you are on top of the world. You and the occasional ptarmigan that burst out of the whiteness with a powerful yet gentle whir. You're on the last lap now, down the Arctic slope to the ocean, and you commence to feel a fresh, vibrant energy as the goal nears. You no longer think of the road as a dirty, greasy mark on nature's virgin breast. It becomes an avenue of usefulness, the ribbon of unexcelled achievement, and also the way home. You think you even detect the new surge of life in the cat as it furrows the trail. The pace and spirits quicken as the truck train catches up and joins the cat train, rolling northward as the road is built. The radio crackles out the news that the snow train is nearing. The big push is on to the Arctic. Those mighty ifs vanish, and it is now when. You are commencing to list the answers to your questions and solve problems of Arctic transportation of the future. Steps are livelier, and more hands join in the myriad of tasks. Smiles are ready, and even eggs seem fresh. Time is getting shorter. Time to do the job. Time to get home. You work all hours and are unaware of tiredness, hunger, sleepiness. It's another banner day when you reach and ease down into the canyon of Blow River. You are hoping the river ice will prove a much faster roadbed than the unpredictable benches on the hillsides. But even here, the Arctic continues to throw up barricades in the forms of huge snowdrifts that engulf equipment. With destination so near, the pace is slowed. The cats labor incessantly. It's as though the Arctic has been angered by your trespassing and suddenly awakening to the amazing fact that you are about to emerge the conqueror. She throws up her final defenses of snow, ice, wind, and cold, but you're not to be denied. And slowly the road worms down the canyon toward the mouth and the Arctic Ocean. Then comes the day some had thought would never see the light, when the snow train rolls over the Arctic, joining with the cat and truck trains. You learn the answer to numerous questions, and you thrill to the proof that the Arctic is, in reality, the snow train's arena. Once through the timber belt and on to the Arctic openness, the snow train hardly needs a road, for it surprisingly rides on its own wide tread across the crusted world, and a new era of Arctic transportation. Perhaps a new Arctic military and defense weapon meets and passes all the tests under actual conditions. As one last gesture of defiance, the Arctic wind sweeps down, sharper and more penetrating than a stiletto, erasing horizons, filling in the recently cleared road, making every effort, every foot of progress 3 and 4 times as difficult. But destination is just down the road. Snow, ice, wind, cold, darkness, the Arctic. Nothing can stop you now. Nestling aside the 8,000-foot runway, which they carved on the Arctic Ocean ice, the trail-blazing cat train logs the battle and progress of her sister trains. Daily, the tension, the excitement increases. You see success within reach, the realization of a man's dream, the results of work, sacrifice, privations of first a team, and then teams of men who gouged and smashed their way more than 500 miles over the Arctic, carving with their remarkable achievement a highway of supply to a land that up to now had defied such progress. In later years, you will recall watching the cat train, and then the snow train rumbling over the Arctic Ocean ice. You will never forget your throat tightening, your eyes watering. How unashamedly you let the emotions of joy and achievement blind you with tears of success. You want to shout, to cheer, to congratulate your fellow men. Wheels are rolling on the Arctic. Wheels, you repeat, shouting the word defiantly into the Arctic bleakness. You gulp. and face into the wind again. The job calls for delivery, and that's just ahead. As you roll the drums down the slats of the snow train onto the Arctic ice and the waiting Eskimos, you try to envision just what does the success of your work mean to our defense, to the military, to the Arctic and its scattered peoples. And you realize that as a man, you can but estimate and dream. You do know, however, without any conjecture, that wheels are rolling on the Arctic, wheels of development, progress, and supply to an endless land of mystery and promise, the Arctic.